Ken Howard, welcome. You get the prize. Ken Howard for joining first, for being the first in here. Welcome. Thank you, everybody, for joining. This is Humanity's Team. This is heaven and peace and joy and perfection. And so we can call this whatever we want, but this is our experience. This is the time that we have been predestined to experience. This is the exact set of circumstances that we've chosen, and we're still here. So we have a special treat today to inspire and affirm and to confirm, to affirm and to confirm that we are on path, that we are on the path, and that this is on plan. This is the plan. The plan for what? The plan for our own greatest glory experienced. And of course, this is exactly the same as our own collective greatest glory experienced. So I hope that everybody here has a bowl of popcorn. I like just straight popcorn, nothing on it, maybe a little bit of salt, maybe a kombucha handy to drink. And I'm just saying all these things because I like to give a couple minutes for people to join who want to join. And I think we're approaching these couple minutes. So feel free to be sure to take notes, either physically on paper or screen or mentally, because this is a 27-minute module, something like this, and we'll be coming on after it ends to discuss it and to talk about the impact it has on us and what it makes us think, and if we want to sing a song and so forth. So the couple of minutes has come and gone, and we're still here. So Garth, or the wizard behind the Zoom screen, please take it away with Michael Beckwith's module.
Dynamic blessings to you, and sometimes we say dynamic blessings. And we use the word bliss oftentimes because bliss is the activation of our potential. That whenever we activate our potential, we go into states of bliss. Many people are afraid of bliss, or they don't understand bliss. They settle for pleasure. They settle for temporary excitement. But when you begin, as what you're doing here in these modules with Panache and myself, you're opening yourself up to states of bliss because you're tapping into your limitless nature and developing a way of living where you keep growing. In other words, what I'm seeking to bring out of you is a growth-centric being, meaning you live to grow, you live to unfold, you live to activate your highest potential. This is what it's all about. Today, this particular module is about your destiny, your destiny call. And I want you to understand that there is a destiny within you. I like to always begin with the stories to help you come to an understanding of what I mean by that. A number of years ago, this was after the awakening, I was meditating in Big Bear. I would go to Big Bear frequently to have moments of meditation for the weekend. And at this time, I remember going outside. I had my journal. I was meditating outside. And suddenly, a scroll appeared in front of me. And on this scroll, it said Michael Beckwith to speak at this particular spiritual community. And then the scroll rolled up and disappeared. I thought that was interesting. So I took my journal and I wrote about it, and then I went back to meditation. So when I left the mountain of Big Bear and went back home, soon after I got home, the phone rang. There was a man by the name of Bill. I'll always remember this. By the name of Bill. And he said, Is this Michael Beckwith? I said, yes, it is. And he said, we have a spiritual community here in Tacoma, Washington. We presently, without a teacher, without a minister, we would like you to come deliver the talk. And I said to him, first of all, I said, oh, I know because I saw the scroll. That's what I said. I remember saying that. And he said, what are you talking about? And I said, oh, nothing. I remember saying, oh, never mind. And he said, we don't have a minister. We would like you to come and to speak. And I said, are you aware that I have no credentials? I'm not a licensed practitioner. At that particular time, I had not completed my training as a spiritual therapist. He says, we're aware of that. I said, you're aware I'm not a minister. I don't have any credentials. I haven't gone to the school of ministry or anything like that. And he said, we're aware of that. And I said, well, why are you inviting me to come speak to your community? This is a big responsibility. And he said, well, we saw you working. We saw you at the Asilomar Conference Ground at the spiritual community, the spiritual gathering. We really loved your vibration. We really loved what you were talking about. And we think you would be a perfect fit to come speak. And so I agreed to do it. And I can remember this. When I hung up the phone, I got really, really nervous because I'd never done this before. This is going to be my first public talk. I got nervous. What was I going to say? Who was I to go speak about God? Who was I to speak about cosmic consciousness? Who was I to speak about unfolding destiny? I was getting nervous about it. And I can remember laying on the couch at the time, kind of falling asleep, and I was fitful, taking a nap. I left my body temple. And as I was flying, I felt full of confidence and full of this awareness that I had been cultivating through my meditation, my years of meditation since the awakening. And I looked back at Michael, who was laying at the couch, and Michael was nervous. And I remember saying, Michael, whenever I go out, he gets so nervous. Doesn't he understand yet that? And the moment I said that, I was back at the body, nervous again. And anyway, long story short, I went up to Tacoma. I spoke. This energy flowed through me. I always remember this, individuals in the audience were crying. There was a lot of healings that happened. And I was invited back. Subsequently, that was the first public talk I gave. Subsequently, I received my license as a spiritual therapist. Later on, I graduated from the School of Ministry, and the rest is history. Now, here's the deal. That scroll that unfolded in front of me revealed a destiny within me. I had a destiny to speak, a destiny to heal, a destiny to uplift, a destiny to inspire, the destiny to transform lives through that particular medium of being a spiritual teacher. At the time, I was a very private person. My spiritual encounters were very private. I was not broadcasting them to anybody. I was having an inner love affair with this presence, writing about it in my journal, the different encounters with the light and the luminosity. But I didn't really consciously think about the fact that I would be a public person that I am now. It was a very private love affair, but there was a destiny within me. Everyone has a beautiful destiny. Everyone has what I call a meant to be. Many people live under the aegis, under the authority of a should be. Again, our should be comes from an external authority figure. That generally generated by society, generally generated by the status quo, or by the love of your parents wanting you to be safe, wanting you to be secure, wanting you to get a good job, you know. And many people are living under the vibrational authority of what they should be in life. There's a difference between what you should be and what you're meant to be. What you're meant to be is your destiny. Everyone has a great destiny. That is the unique way that you will be expressing your limitless nature, beyond what you should be. Many people are languishing, making themselves sick because they're doing what they should do. An uncle, a parent said, well, you should do this with your life. And it may be something totally not connected to your spirit, your heart. Be aware of this. Your heart's desire and what you're meant to be, and let's call it the will of God, are all the same thing. People speak about the will of God. First of all, understand this. God is not a man in the sky, not a magical being that doles out blessings if you get the words in your prayers just right. No, that's quality time. That's magical thinking. That's a lack. That's years ago, before we were evolved as evolved as we are right now. People would project their human consciousness onto a magical being. As the old saying goes, the Spirit of God, God recreated itself after its own image and likeness, made us in its image and likeness, and we've been trying to return the favor ever since. So we projected all of our human consciousness onto a magical being outside of ourselves. You know, God gets jealous and envious, has chosen people, smites us, sends us to hell if in fact we've done wrong, made mistakes, things of that particular nature. That God does not exist except in our own experience, living from a limited paradigm. The presence that's never an absence, placed within you, your limitless nature and a destiny. That it means, what does that mean? That means you as a unique expression of infinite potential. I want you to catch this. Catch this. This presence is infinite. This presence never repeats itself. Never repeats itself. Every grain of sand, every leaf on a tree, every human being is unique. There are no, even twins, even identical twins are unique. They're not the same. So that's God's infinite nature. And then everyone gets to reveal the infinitude of the Spirit according to what? According to their unique pattern. That unique pattern that wants to come out is our destiny. We cover up our destiny by what we should do. Authority figures telling you what you should do and what you should be about. And that's generally comes from people who love you and want you to be safe. And so you end up putting yourself in a box, doing what you should do in order to be happy temporarily. It's called like a counterfeit happiness. You know, you're doing what you should do. I'll always remember there was an individual whose mother really pushed him to be a doctor, you know, and his whole movement through school was to become a medical doctor. Inside, he loved music. His heart was full of music, but he did what he should do. He went through school. He went through all those years of training to become a doctor. And then somewhere along the line, he manifested cancer in his body temple. And as he began the process of seeking to heal himself from cancer, he started to listen to his music again. He started to play music again. To make a long story short, as he started to play his music, he was a violinist, by the way, and get back into his heart, the cancer disappeared, and he segued into his heart's desire. He became a great musician, inspiring thousands of people, writing major compositions. Why? He tapped into his destiny. He released what he should do from a parental point of view. His mother loved him. His mother wanted him to make a living in the world. Thus, you must become a doctor, son. His heart and him being a unique construct of the divine had music all through him that had to escape, had to be revealed in this particular incarnation. And when he got to his heart's desire, his body healed, He became proficient in the violin. He studied day and night, every single day, but it wasn't laborious because he loved it. It was blissful. And he became a great musician. You have a destiny within you, more than what you should be. I want you to begin to be aware in your life where you're living under the construct of what you should do. External authority figure. You should do this. You should be about this. And I want you to begin to listen to your heart. There's a destiny within you. There's something about you that is unique. I don't use the word special because we're all special. We're all unique, which means everybody's special or no one's special. I want you to begin to think about where you're under the frequency of what you should do and begin to breathe into the awareness of a destiny that's unfolding. How do we get there? The universal presence birthed the universe. Sometimes people say, you know, the universe told me to do this or the universe told me to do that. Now, what they really mean is that the universal presence of which we're all intricately connected to, operating through the universe, told you. It wasn't just the universe. The universe is the byproduct of the universal presence. It's a multidimensional expression of the fundamental order that's always expanding. Nevertheless, by law, the universe, by law, answers every question that you ask. If you begin to ask, what is my destiny? You begin to ask, what is it that's trying to unfold through me? Not what my mother wants me to be, not what my college counselors say I should be, not what my Uncle Joe says I should do, which they may be correct. They may have seen an inclination in you, a talent, a gift. They might. Or they might just through fear say, well, you should do this because you can always get a job in this. What's your destiny? Do you realize that your gift within you, that when you set it free, it paves the way for you for prosperity. It paves the way for you for bliss and ecstasy. It paves the way for you for greater success. Your gift, your uniqueness paves the way for you to be healthy, happy, prosperous, and always living on the edge of greater discovery of yourself. Now, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. You always want to live on the edge of greater discovery. So, two things. One, throughout the course of the week, I want you to begin to just ask the question, you know, where am I living from what I should be doing? And where am I living from my innate destiny? Just ask the question. You don't have to have the answer. But if you ask the question, the answer will come. It'll come as an intuition. It'll come as a feeling tone. It will come in your dream. It'll come as a hunch. It'll come as an intuitive hit. We're all here to be in service to each other. We're all here to be in service to an emerging paradigm. We're all here to be in service to an unfolding cosmic destiny and group destiny. And you'll find yourself more and more and more closer to being in service by using and expressing your unique giftedness. And the other thing, and we're going to do this together, we're going to do a little mini MINI, a little mini visioning around this that you'll be able to come back to over and over and over again, asking the right question. As we love to do, introspection. We want to turn within because everything begins within. You see, let me just break this down for you. This extrospection, that is seeing out what appears to be outside of ourselves. We see our room, we see furniture, we see things in the room. That's extrospection. Then there's introspection. When we look within, we see the thoughts, we see our beliefs, our opinions, our points of view, we see our moods. All that's introspection. And then there's transpection, where we go beyond seeing just what's inside in terms of our thoughts, our perceptions, our beliefs, our moods. We begin to see reality. Remember the first module? Most people don't see reality. They only experience the belief about it. We go into transpection. So introspection ultimately leads to transpection. That's greater awakening. So as you stop for a moment, your feet firmly placed on the ground, we come into an introspection moment. Close the outer eye. As we've been practicing, take a deep inhalation, squeeze your body temples so that there's a tenseness from the bottom of your feet. Curl your bottom of your feet, curl your fist, everything close, everything tight. Then release. Giving your body a sweet relaxation response. Smile on your face. Close the outer eye. And come with me into an awareness that you're surrounded by a field of love and safety. Think about a moment in your life where you felt love and you felt safe. It can be in a time you were an infant up to present moment, any time in your life where you have felt loved and felt the frequency of love and you have felt safe. Bring that into your matrix of the mind right now. Love and safety. Now, in this field of love and safety, ask the question, what is it that is seeking to unfold through me as my unique destiny? And then let it go. Don't let your thinking mind grab it and try to figure it out. No. Your soul is going to provide the answer. What is it that is unique to me, that is seeking to unfold as my destiny? What's trying to unfold? What's trying to blossom? What's trying to come forward? This is not something for the surface mind to figure out. This is something that your intuition will grasp as a direct knowing, an intuitive hit, a gut feeling, an expanded awareness. You'll suddenly know it. It may show up in your dream state, your meditation state, a moment in which you are praying, or in a moment in which you're not even thinking about it. This is beyond your job, your place of employment, but it is something about you that wants to unfold. It is your destiny. Everyone has a great destiny according to their uniqueness. Open yourself up and give yourself permission to hear beyond the ears, to see beyond the eyes, to feel beyond the emotional body, direct insight, pure awareness. What is my destiny? Not what I should be, but what I am meant to be. Listen for a moment with your entire being. Now, as you slowly open your eyes, I haven't mentioned this to you before, but you want to keep a journal near you, not only when I'm teaching in the module, Panache and I are teaching, but you want to keep a journal, period, because insights will begin to flow and you want to catch the insights, capture them. So it doesn't just become a part of something that was fleeting, but something you can go back to. So you've set something in motion by asking. My assignment for you is that as you go to sleep tonight, you fall asleep by asking, what is my destiny? And you go to sleep with that question in your awareness. So even as you're sleeping, you're available to the insights of the universal presence through the universe operating through you. Remember, there should be and meant to be. We're calling on our meant to be. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next module. Remember, you're developing a practice, not just listening to me, but you're practicing these exercises so that you're stabilizing any insight that you have. Have a blessed day.
Blessed day indeed. We are blessed. Speaking of blessings, we're blessed with our co-host, Karen Gordon.
Hi, everybody. That
Hello.
was so inspiring. I'm still kind of like coming out of that moment with
Absolutely.
Michael B.
So let me just say that this is discussion time. Feel free to type into chat. Let me just give a hello in chat. Hello, you can type here. There should be 2 L's if this is speaking in English, hello. But you can also raise your hand if you want to come on and chat a bit about this module. I know we have plenty to talk about, Karen. So what is it? Tell me your thoughts, Karen, on this whole concept Michael brings in the beginning of a meant to be when contrasted with a should be, and particularly given our current, Michael says everything is all fluxed up now. Even furthermore, we have a meant to be and should be. We are also faced oftentimes with this meant to feel and should feel. So Karen, tell us your thoughts. You should feel this way about such and such.
So true. You know, in my life, I've had a lot of, what do you mean you don't care about this? You're a woman. Or, well, you don't care about that? You're Jewish. You know, and it's always been so interesting to me that people think that it's formulaic, you know, that because they have you in a box of some kind, you should feel a certain way. And in the case of all fluxed up, you know, politically here in the United States, oftentimes you're looked at because maybe you work with humanities team. And so maybe you're put in a box that, oh, Karen Gordon feels this way about, you know, 10 different subjects, and maybe Karen does and maybe she doesn't. And so that element of things has always been interesting to me, because we're all individual and free to, in any moment, every moment, feel how we feel with any situation, and confronted with any situation or person. Yeah.
And this is also to expand this. And hello, Perla. Thank you for joining. And shalom, Erica. Shalom, At. You know, I think we spiritually inclined or spiritually driven tend to be labeled as spirit with a spiritual bypass, you know, that you should be outraged at such and such event or person even. You should be upset. And truly, if we understand this, if we understand the truth of all of this, the eternity of all of this, the presence that is never an absence, that Michael calls this the presence that is never an absence, everywhere that we are, it is. This is the presence that is never an absence. And so, is the presence outraged? I don't think so. I know what I know is that if something is, then the presence has allowed it to be. If something is, God has allowed it to be. It's our interpretations of it that can vary. We have certain things that go on, and we can choose to see it in infinitely different many ways. But it's our duty, it's our obligation to rest, to stay in this rest of knowing, of the knowledge that this is on plan, no matter what is going on. This is not to say that we're not driven to take action. Not at all. But we're driven to take action from a place of peace and rest and calm and truth. And in this place, we can be brought to particular places to say something, or to put something on the table, or to flip something around, or to frame something in a different way. But all along, the key here is that all along, we know that this is part of the plan, and that, we're not trying to fix something that's been messed up. We're just playing our part in this divinely perfect play here.
Yeah. So let's just use the word outraged for a second, because even if someone feels outraged, let's just give it to that person. Let's just say that's part of the plan as well, feeling outraged. However, if you're feeling outraged and you're not feeling at peace, that's on you. That has nothing to do with what's happening or what you're outraged about. The lack of peace that any of us feel at any time is on us. It's because of our thoughts about being outraged. I mean, I don't know what outrage means to somebody else. If I was feeling outraged, I would not be at peace. I know that about myself. But somebody else might have a different take on that, and it might move them to action. It might move them to some kind of positive, loving, compassionate comment, possibly. And so for that person, perhaps feeling outraged is not a lack of peace, and that's not for me to know or judge. But we want to allow for everything and every emotion to be under the umbrella of God's plan, or on plan, the universe's plan.
Yes. And so, absolutely, even outrage is on plan, yeah. Whether it's in ourself, if we feel outrage, this is another component of this in the spiritual community, where it's almost like, if we are upset, we can fall in this cycle of, I'm not supposed to be upset, so I'm just gonna not look at it, but to be in this state while being upset, while experiencing this feeling of upset, to know that this is on plan, even though I'm upset, not to push it away, not to try and change it, but to know that this is on plan, that there is nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with me. And similarly, if we see it outside, there's no way that we can see it outside if it didn't originate within ourselves. So, I understand all of the unrest that is going on, and it seems like things are breaking. It certainly seems this way, and out of fear, we may think that we need to do certain things in order for it not to break. The only duty we have is to be at peace, because what do we want? We just yearn to experience this collective peace. And the only way that we can experience it is to choose it within ourselves. And then we can see it. Then we can see it. So Gandhi always talked about, or the whole crux, the cornerstone of his teaching of nonviolent resistance, is this whole concept, this whole knowing, this intuition that we cannot separate the ends from the means. So Gandhi would say, you do not achieve peace by waging war, because you cannot separate the ends from the means. You cannot achieve peace with war. You know, it's a pseudo peace. It's not peace. In order to, so means and ends are part of the same thing. If we want a world peace, and surprise, you know, spoiler alert, we do. This is what we want. World truth. The words that we put on it. World, global self-realized. We can call this peace. If we want peace as an ends, we must implement peace as a means. Radical peace. This is being at peace. We don't achieve peace once we elect somebody to office. No. We achieve peace when we all decide that it is what we want and what we are.
And when we do that collectively, we will collectively see it in the world. I wonder if we could I'd like to create a bridge between this discussion and destiny, because I was very interested in what Michael B. had to say about destiny, and I think it has something also to do with these things. He talked about, you know, we can languish, we can be frustrated when we're living a life, when we're trying, he called it counterfeit happiness, when we're trying to be somebody that somebody else sees us as, or we think somebody else sees us as. And we could have frustration about that. We can maybe not identify it as frustration, but we can feel maybe there's something not quite right, that there's something more, I could do something else. And what I want to say about that is a part of plan, right? That might not be exactly how Michael has defined destiny, as that greater and more full expression of who we are, allowing universal presence to communicate through us as the universe, is a part of the universe, but still it's on plan, you know, even if we're languishing or not flourishing when we're trying to live somebody else's definition of us. But I also wanted to say something about destiny in that little personal story. When my daughter Teresa yielded the form, she was just a little more than 2 years old, so she was quite young. And there were several people who, in their love for me and our family and Teresa, said things like, oh, you know, her destiny was cut short. You know, her life was cut short. She wasn't able to fulfill her destiny, which I always found quite interesting, because of course she did. Of course she fulfilled her destiny. To me, again, I don't know if that's exactly how Michael would be defining it, but the fullness of her life was her destiny. And what was really interesting to me about what Michael said about this is we always need to be on the edge of growing, that's where our destiny is on the edge. And if we're not on the edge, we're taking up too much space. That was hilarious. It's like being in an airport. It's just so full of people and somebody's just all sprawled out and taking up all this room, right? So we to be on the edge, that's that exciting place where we are. It's not one destiny that we're trying to get to, I think is what I'm trying to get to. It's a continually growing, evolving, changing destiny.
Yes, it is. And it's a destiny, as I understand this, it's a destiny that is far greater than we can even conceive.
Yeah.
You know, we have certain, you know, inclinations and we're predisposed to hold certain beliefs and to value certain things. And so with our present worldview, we could feasibly illustrate or write about a destiny, the greatest destiny that we could conceive. And oftentimes when we write this, the presence, the source of the universe laughs and says, "Oh, don't sell yourself so short, my child here." And So absolutely, you know, by definition, we are here fulfilling our destiny. And Karen, you walked in, even languishing is part of this. And absolutely, Michael talks about the dark night of the soul and how to embrace this rather than be afraid of it and push it away. Because one of these days I'll be able to communicate this not on a phone or on Zoom in the same room, but when we're called, if I'm standing up, Karen, well, let's walk through mentally, Karen. When I say to you in slow motion, please motion to jump for me. Now explain to me what you do. I want you to jump. What do you do?
I am going to tell you to jump in slow motion.
Yeah. What do you do with your body when I tell you to jump? Jump for me as high as you can. What do you do?
Oh, when you tell me in slow motion.
Yeah. What is the first thing that you do? You don't have to do it. Just tell me what you do.
Oh, okay. I was gonna like get on stage and do the whole thing.
You can.
No,
let's do it. Yeah, no, jump, do it, please, if you don't mind. If you don't mind.
In slow motion.
Not ultra slow. I'd say like half speed.
I'm pushing back. Okay, I'm narrating. I'm pushing
you.
back. I'm standing
ready?
up.
Ready? Okay, go to jump. Stop. What are you doing? I said jump, and why are you going down?
Why are you bending down?
Huh?
Yeah, it's funny. Well, it's so interesting. It's like you can like cut it off at any point. You know, destiny, the thing that's happened in the United States is election, like election's over, counting ballots, like what the heck is happening? You know, it's, whoa, what's happening? But it's part of the destiny of each of us and of America and of the world. We're all interconnected and interrelated. So it can't be anything but that, this ongoing, unfolding, evolving,
leaping,
jumping, squatting destiny. And therein lies the peace, when you can chuckle about it. And it's, of course, there's serious business happening out there in the world. I mean, there are things happening in the world, but when you can, this is peace I'm feeling. It's coming out in chuckles and laughter and smiles.
Yes, and you know, as with this talk of destiny, I know Karen, you go to your daughter Teresa about destiny as fulfilled as a 2-year-old, you know, but perfectly complete life.
Yeah.
And where I go with when I hear destiny and this authentic, you know, this masterclass is a beautiful embracing of authenticity. And Michael presents it in such a way, and Panache presents it in such a way where you watch these modules and you just feel like, oh, I love myself who I authentically am. That's just what the world needs now. Yeah. And in the confidence of not trying to be somebody else, seeing the full value in being ourselves, even if we're upset, to be in a place where we can express it, because sometimes we're just called to express being upset.
Yeah.
Even if we're feeling like something's off and I just need to say this is okay. To be in a place where we're at peace and we can be confident that whatever we're feeling, whatever we're thinking internally, that we can express. This is the true meaning of our words, our thoughts, and our deeds of being aligned. It's not changing our thoughts to align with our deeds or changing our words it's a place where they're all aligned. If I think something, I say it, because why would it be anything else? Why would this experience be anything less than, okay, here's what you say right now. I give it to you, you know, the source of the universe or myself, or what's the difference? I'm thinking this, so I will say it now. And I don't have to think about, oh, well, I said this 10 seconds ago, and maybe in 5 minutes I can say this. And but okay, also this could be given as a plan, but to be authentically ourselves. Okay. Now,
boy, just loops. It loops. You know, it's like, oh, I could have said that differently. Maybe I should have said that differently. Oh, well, I'm saying that wasn't on plan, but oh wait, this is on plan too.
It is. And so just to be comforted, and Panache says this in a way where it's like, you don't need to be fixed. You don't need to be changed or healed. You, our divinity is accessed through our humanity. And Michael, and this is in the Global Oneness Summit call, where Michael V says that we're not here to be ascended masters, we're here to be descended masters. Which is beautiful. Yes. So to find the divinity in our humanity, because we're talking about, this is the power of oneness. Humanities team, we speak about oneness. And so this is oneness. Oneness, it can seem like a trivial thing. Okay, it is, but it's also the most profound thing. So oneness is the coming together, the bringing together, the unification, the oneness of divinity and humanity, the oneness of body with spirit and mind and self and other, and all we see with all that we think, and all that we experience with all that everybody else experienced. This is the oneness. So not to make this distinction where, well, I'm still in the body, and then once I die, then I will experience it. No, because that's separation. We can experience this oneness here.
Yes.
And this is what we're called to do. This is the message of Humanities team.
Yes. And when we accept everything and all, all, then we can feel peace, because we're accepting everything, even that we might label as not peaceful, like discontent or anger or whatever it is that we might think or feel or think. If there's full acceptance, and if we can support each other with the full acceptance of, well, that's how you feel, that's how you think, and not pin somebody with a you should think or feel this way, right? Just accept what's going on. It's a very peaceful state to be in, because you're not pushing against anything. You're not saying that should be different, or you should be different, or I should be different.
Absolutely. And it's peaceful, and it's, by the way, hello, Chris. Chris says hello and thank you. So thank you to Chris. So it's peaceful, Karen. We talk about allowing, and if we bring in this concept in Taoism of yin and yang, of true power is knowing the difference, not even knowing the difference, but being in a state where we can effortlessly act or refrain from acting, because allowing is often seen as a receptive, it's often embraced with feminine and passivity, allowing, it's just a passive allowing. But to know the full concept of allowance, where it's feminine and masculine, and of course we each have feminine and masculine about us, regardless of the gender, feminine and masculine in the sense of passive, receptive, and active, active insertion, So this allowance, oftentimes in this world where we're flooded with activity and dominance, passivity, in the sense of allowance, is often one of the strongest tools that we can hold. Listening. We sit back, we enter a discussion with somebody, and we just listen for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And we have one opportunity to say a sentence, and we say something that completely changes the reference point of who we're speaking with. This is the sort of thing where it's not like we have an agenda where we're trying to change things, but this is an active allowance. It's not a passive allowance. It's an active allowance. We allow active non-judgment.
We do, and that that posture of listening for 20 minutes, right? And then there's a pause, and then there's this opportunity for you to say that one sentence right there. That's allowing universal presence, by whichever name you refer to it, to move through you, to work through you, to communicate through you. You don't have to sit there listening to the person speak for 20 minutes and try to think, what is this one like wonderful, inspiring thing, this one loving thing that I want to say? No, it's really being there, truly listening, truly being in communion with the person, and then the pause, and then the one sentence. It just moves out of you.
Yes. And it's
Through
it's,
you.
it's true power. True power power is not control. It's a misunderstanding of power to think that it's linked with control. True power is allowing. Allowing, and when we're empowered, when we get our power to realize from where we get our power, from spirit, and to let this spirit to be in a place where, again, word, thought, and action are aligned, to be in this place where we're allowing spirit to be our word, thought, and action.
Absolutely.
And it comes, of course, with listening, with speaking, and with voicing what wants to be voiced. We cannot have one without the other, of course. So we listen and we speak. I'm just called to share, when we talk about destiny, and everybody has a grand destiny. Oftentimes we try and quantize this grand destiny or something. I know I could tell everybody here, when I hear destiny and what meant to be rather than should be, I know in my own experience that what I consider my role here, what my job is, regardless of what is my source of income, my role now here in these days is to study Hebrew, learn Hebrew, and learn this sacred text of Hebrew. And why? I have no idea. Okay, I have some idea, but what I can say is that I love it so much. I love sacred text. I love learning the different languages, but particularly right now, I just love Hebrew. I love Hebrew. So Erica, you come in and share shalom. Yes, shalom indeed. And so I don't know. And it's at this place where just spiritually, internally, we know this calling of I'm doing this, and there's no immediate, why for it, other than it's just the right thing. It just feels perfectly right. And we can think of it all however we want later in the future, that this will surface up in one way. But whatever we're called to be in fully, and we can just embrace fully, is our destiny.
Yes, I agree. I feel that way about A Course in Miracles, our Sunday afternoon group. Sunday, it's kind of the one day that I could take to not have anything on the calendar. And yet I so enjoy it's really a highlight, maybe the highlight of the week, to show up on Sunday afternoon in our Course in Miracles discussion group. It's a real pull, it's a real impulse, it's a real calling to be there, to show up there. And I don't know why. I don't understand. If I think about it, it's like, oh, wow, Sunday with nothing on the calendar. That sounds so great. But that's not the calling, which is odd to me, but it's not. Yes. Follow the calling. You can tell when you have an impulse You know, I think we all know what that feels like.
It is. And you know, if we liken the day to a sandwich, it's kind of like, I do believe that we wake up. I think, you know, there's the general, we share this general sense of we wake up, and however we wake up, ideally, I think we wake up easily, or maybe we wake up and we're alert right away, just on our own volition. And we get ready, we wash and we eat, or however this process is. What do we do next? What is it that we do next? Because this is the most important thing that we do all day. We're awake, we're alert, we're clean. What do we do? This is a profound statement. To whom? To ourself, to God, to the presence, because it's how we're dedicating our day. So when we wake up and we're ready to go, man, I drank my coffee. What am I doing? What am I doing? This is sacred time. Of course, this is sacred time. But particularly, we and starting the day with this momentum, whether it's studying, reading, painting, something that's devoted to God, whatever connects us with God, with his presence, it must be part. This is more important than getting to work on time. It's more important than checking the email, although email could be a part of this, you know.
It could be. We don't want to place a judgment on what it might be for somebody else. It might be reading sacred text, studying Hebrew. It might be I like to especially when it's raining, I like to do stair loops, you know, walk around for about a mile, going up and down my stairs and around the house. And I have this wonderful set of this headset, right, that cordless, and I listen to A Course in Miracles. And it whatever it might be, maybe it's jumping, maybe it is going to your email. It doesn't really matter what it is, but it does set the day in a very particular way. So if it's checking email consciously, why
am I checking email?
Yeah.
If it's a habit,
mm-hmm.
and the habit is traced and there's no source, it's just I feel comfortable with it, well, let's reevaluate this.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all have a destiny and we're all meant to do something. And even if we're called to study French and we don't know why, but we start it and we love it, then this is our destiny.
Maybe we're meant to sit for 45 minutes in a rocking chair.
Maybe.
Like Garth behind the scenes.
Like Garth. and equivalently, by the way, thank you all for joining, and thank you, Karen. Well, you know, it's every once in a while we get to talk like this, so yeah. I appreciate this time to chat. Yeah. But equally, we have the morning, and then what am I doing right before I go to sleep? What am I doing the hour before I lay down and go to sleep? Equally. It's as it just work, grind, and then go to sleep. This is fine. But as a practice, as a habit, habitually, what habits are we forming where right before sleep, what is it that we're focusing upon? What is it we're learning or doing or bringing into creation that we, as Michael said, the homework for tonight for all of us, as we're lying down and to fall asleep, what is my destiny? What is my destiny?
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Noah.
Thank you, Karen. And so I love Michael B. And I love Karen. I love Garth. Thank you, Garth, for being behind the scenes and for sharing the module with us. I don't know if you want to, you know, well, I think Kathy's with us. When we have our A Course in Miracles group, somehow we've brought in the tradition that somebody comes on to leave us with some parting words. So Garth, if you feel comfortable, please give us the final words for today.
It is our destiny to love one another.
Right on.
Amen. And thank you all for joining. Thank you, Garth.
Thank you.
And I love you all. It's fulfilled the destiny that Garth.
Love you too, Noah. And Karen.
Yes. God bless.
Bye.